to week 9, and I just want to go through the assignments. These are a little bit more interactive this week. You have 2 labs you're going to work on, so I'm going to overview those assignments a bit for you. So the first one is the smell and the taste lab, and so this talks about using jelly beans, but really you can use any sort of flavored candy where you kind of know what the flavor is. All right, and so we're gonna think about all the different flavors we have of things. It gives you a little bit of background to read, so make sure you read about this. And then what you're gonna need is either 3 different flavored jelly beans. Fruit flavors work best, or if you have other fruit flavored candies, but something, you need a paper and pencil, you need some sort of plastic baggies, you need, hopefully you can gather 5 to 10 different people to help you with this. Could be family members, could be friends. All right, you need a blindfold, so something to keep their eyes, and a glass of water. You're going to make sure you have your candies sorted by flavor and write down what you know. And then here's your procedure. You can go through and read what you're supposed to do, and then you're going to collect your data. You're going to create some sort of graphical display. Right? I'm not going to tell you what to use because part of this is to figure out what kind of graph to use. And then answer the question using your data. Did plugging your nose make it difficult to distinguish a jelly bean's flavor? Could your subject recognize a flavor by sniffing the candies? All right, and then a little short conclusion. So you're going to have your table of data, you're going to have your graphical display, you're going to have your answer to the question, and a short conclusion for this assignment. All right, so I can close that down. That's one of the labs. Then you're going to learn more about taste and also touch and smell. So you have taste and smell going on in the lab, and then you're going to kind of wrap it up with a concept map. You should create your own diagrams for this one, and then you can use the attached template, or you can make your own. And this one, you're really focusing on touch, taste, and kinesthesia. Also, I should have highlighted pain here. Let's fix this. And a little bit of pain in here. You want to understand, how do we feel pain? And all of the resources are there for this. Okay, and then the next one is going to be discover your homunculus. I love this word, homunculus. It makes me laugh every time I say it. This one you have to be a little bit careful with the lab. So here is the little video on the homunculus, and you'll understand why it's such a funny picture. And then you can see that the lab is here. This is going to require you to poke people a little bit. All right, so you want to make sure you're not poking too much, but again, it has some really good information for you to read. You're going to need some toothpicks. You're going to need a compass, which remember is like, this is so you can hold your you want to be able to hold your 2 toothpicks certain distance apart. You're going to need a pencil, a ruler, and at least you just need another person or student to help you. All right, and it has your procedures here, and then it has some discussion questions you're going to answer. All right, and then you don't have to do the extension part, so we're not doing this part, but you'll kind of see why we use this. It has a place for you to see it, so you're really just recording you have 2 people here, or this is 2 times to do the same person. So you're going to, on somebody's cheek, you're going to make sure the points are 2 millimeters apart. You don't want them to see whether you have 1 or 2 points, but you want to see trial 1, do they feel it? Trial 2, so it's a yes, no. Then a 5 millimeter gap, a 10 millimeter gap. And so with each of these gaps, you're trying to say, do they feel 1 poking or 2? Right? Because we're measuring the sensitivity of all of these parts. So we will stick, if you could do 1 person, that's really good. If you can get 2 people, that's great, but just 1 person will be enough for this activity. And then you're going to create colors. So you can say 2 millimeter gap. Do they feel, so is a 1 point or 2 points? So pick a color. You can pick whatever color you want, and you're going to create your little gingerbread man showing whether they're feeling 1 or 2 points at those different gaps. All right, so what are you going to turn in when you're all done? You're going to have the table, right? So this table filled in. You're going to have a color coding system. You're going to have a gingerbread man that's colored, and you will have these questions. All right, so answer these discussion questions. It should be fun. Just don't hurt anybody. And then the last assignment for the week is we're going to switch from, we're going to leave senses. So we leave your final sense here and we start to get into the principles of perception this week. So that's the last concept map. So if you kind of look at the activities, I was hoping you could finish this on Monday, this on Tuesday. I give you 2 days here, so give or take. I don't necessarily think you absolutely have to have 2 days, but I know sometimes it's a little bit harder to deal with the labs, so I gave a little bit of extra time for these assignments. All right, let me know if you need any help and have a really good week. Thank you very much.